Something I want to talk about right now is an alert. So what I call an alert is communication between, typically if you've got a next level quarterback and you give them trust to call an alert at the line, you're basically telling them, okay, you have green light to call an audible at the line per se. So in this situation here, if I had a quarterback I could trust, or if I wanted to call the alert myself, what I'm looking for with an alert is if I see something at the line of scrimmage that a change in whatever we were doing, so whether that was the play, typically it's just a route combination, so something you can say, you can disguise. I'll give you an example here in a second, but the reason I would call an alert for whatever play I had, if I see this, I'm not sure why, but this is very common in what I've seen in flag in multiple games. There's just a miscommunication in alignment. So when I have everybody is giving me free space right here, this is an extra point conversion. So for me, when I see no one in front of me, what I need to do is I need to have an alert to say, this is what we're going to change to. So for this, I would just have her turn immediately, or shoot, just walk and just have her eyes and the quarterback, as long as this looks like a swap in the quarterback for them. But if this is your normal QB, throw it to this girl right here. All you have, we're on the 3-yard line to get 1 point for an extra point. So at this point, I am calling whatever you want. So example of what I did as an offensive coordinator. If I saw something, my quarterback was learning. She was incredible. She called her own alerts at the line. But for me, if I saw something next level where there was open space or there was green space where I was trying to fill the hole that they were providing, I called an alert at the line. So I had a tag. It can be something very simple. If it's a quarterback calling it, we had something where if we went like this, it does bring attention. So if they are doing that, you could think of something a little less, like for this scenario, where we don't really want to bring attention to her. We just want to get her the ball. You could come up with like a hand swipe, say something, make eye contact, swipe the hand. That way they know that this is what they're happening. They're just walking across the line. But you can shade to say, hey, I'm coming off the line very slow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look eyes at the ball immediately. And I'm just going to, jog forward, walk forward, whatever it might be. In this scenario, she's only got 3 yards to go in order to get an extra point. So there's no need to sprint. So I am setting up, if I do this, that means I'm getting you the ball immediately, progress forward just a little bit. But you can come up with like a hand swipe or something where you're brushing the top as a quarterback, and that could mean I want you to run a slant. There's ways you can do this, and if you're calling it in as a coach, what I did was I had a route tree where the girls, it was required that the girls on my team had to know what every number on a route tree meant. So generalized at the time, I wasn't worried about anybody else understanding when I said small 7. I wasn't concerned that they knew a 7 was a corner route. If you see normal route trees, the understanding is 1 is a flat, 2 is a slant, and it goes all the way up. 8's a post, 9's a go. It works all the way up. It's pretty generalized, pretty normal. So I didn't have to worry about people knowing that at the time that I was doing this. If I wanted to come up with my own route tree, as far as this is your route tree, I want you to memorize the numbers. That way they're different. So if you wanted your 2 to be a flat and totally make it opposite, typically in a normal route tree, evens come to the ball and odds go away from the ball. So if you wanted to come up with your own route tree, it's your team. As long as you are communicating the route tree and everybody's on the same page, then it doesn't matter. There's no one set way to do it. A slant is a slant, but if you called it a 3 instead of a 2, that's fine, as long as everybody's on the same page. So whatever we start with, that's what we'll roll with. So For what I did, so let's say that her last name is Small. That was one of the players on my team. Her last name was Small. I said small 7 because I wanted her to run a corner route. I wouldn't call a corner route right now, but for when I saw green grass open, when she was my tight end, she was pretty close to the line. If I saw that there was green grass, I'd tell her I'd call out small 7. And my quarterback knew if I am making a call from the sideline, that's the route I want you to throw to because I see something and I want her to attack the open space. So we had alerts, and I would change it every game as far as sometimes I would say small 7. Sometimes before the games, leading up to the games, I would say, hey, what's your favorite animal? What's your favorite color? So I would call out for the girls that I had tags for. Sometimes I didn't adjust some other girls' routes. A lot of times I was just trying to do stuff with my tight ends. I had a couple of times where a couple girls on the line with my center. So if I saw that there was no need to block or kind of get in the way of somebody, we would send her out on a route. So typically I did that with my tight ends, but you're more than welcome to do that with the receivers. It just didn't work with our setup at the time. But anyway, so I would say, what's your favorite color? And the theme would be colors. So if I called out blue 5, the girl whose favorite color is blue, we made sure they weren't the same. So one person, 2 people didn't have the same color. But we would basically do blue 5. So it would be, hey, I know I have an out route because 5 was our out route. So at that point, everybody's on the same page. I saw something. And at this point, as a coach, there's a lot of things that we have going on 1000%. But if this is something that we see, we have to take advantage immediately. That's why these alerts are so important, because they got this extra point. They handled it just fine. It worked out great. It was fantastic. But when there is a breakdown in a defense, whether that's miscommunication from emotion, whether that's an overload to one side, or they just thought somebody else was covering over there and they didn't know, that has to be taken advantage of, because the margin of error, they might have only done this. This might have been the only time they do this entire season. They might have made this mistake once. But if they're going to make this mistake once, I have to take advantage of it. So if we see this, we have to, either as a coach or teach our players this, we have to say, you can say bubblegum, you can say anything you want to, as long as everybody has an understanding of whatever language we're talking about. That's what we want to do, so we can take advantage of these moments and not call a play when someone is wide open. There's not somebody for, I don't know how many yards this is kind of with a diagonal, but I'm thinking maybe 7 yards of a difference with a 3-yard. This could be the game-winning touchdown that we need to win the state championship. It wasn't in this moment, but it could be. So we have to take advantage of those moments, of those breakdowns on defense when we can, and that's why alerts are so important. If everyone has a universal language and they understand numbers, they understand tags, you can say, brush the shoulder, and if I'm brushing this shoulder, I want you to run an out route. If you have a signal and everybody understands, you can keep it simple. If you've got younger kids, I would only add like 1 or 2 of these. But if you've got a more advanced system where you can start to say, hey, small 7, we know that means that this girl's running a corner route because the safeties have shifted to the overload. If my tight end is on the weak side, they've drug in a corner, the safety's in the middle of the field, and I've got behind the corner is wide open. Absolutely. I'm going to tell my quarterback, hey, if I see this look, I want you to look to the left, look to the strong side. That way we might pull the safety, we might pull the corner a little bit, and then we can pop it into the corner. And it doesn't have to be a long route. I just told her to find open grass. So, and we practice those. That's the key too, is we have to practice this, because if I am calling stuff, there's a bunch of stuff in a game that's going on. So if I don't practice it, I can't expect my players to understand what to do and execute at a high level. They might do it and they might, go through the motions, but if I'm going to do something, I want to do it right. And I got to practice those situations. So I'm going to tell my defensive coordinator, hey, let's do something here. That way we can go over if somebody's alignment is off, or let's do a cover one. Let's get man coverage, or let's do a cover three, and I want, to execute these quick windows. If I see that the corner is playing super deep, I'm going to shade to a slant, whatever the slant is, whatever your key is, whether it's brushing the shoulder, swiping the chest. If you see that you can take advantage of corners playing super far back, you can hit something quick, so hit a slant. I'm brushing my chest, whether that's a coach brushing their chest, the quarterback brushing their chest, or shoot. I would love if I see assertiveness from a receiver for them in this situation right here where she's up top. I would love for my receiver to say, something like, right here, just give me the ball now. There's been so many times I've watched games, unfortunately, where misalignment is crucial and they haven't taken advantage of those moments. So for me, if I'm coming back into the huddle, I'm going to say as a receiver, hey, there was nobody in front of me on that play. If we do that same play again, see if there's no one in front of me. And if there isn't, what can we do, coach? What can I do to get the ball immediately? And if you can talk about it and have a game plan, systems win games. So if you just go out there going through the motions, you don't correct anything based on what you're seeing, you may not be as successful as if you were to have a system. So alerts can be the difference in winning and losing games. You take advantage of those free yards, those misalignments, the miscommunications, everything on a defensive side we want them to play at a high level, of course. And if there is just a little moment where they have just, fallen short, I want to take advantage, because it probably isn't going to happen like this all the time. So I want to prepare for every possible moment that I might see, because if the difference is I get an extra point and we win the game because we got, the difference was, right now the score is 12-0, but if it was 12-12, it's overtime, I just need 1 point. That could be the reason why you win the game. So there's very important reasons for why we alert. And this example right here is exactly why we would have an alert for a misalignment scenario. But once again, if you see that a quick strike instead of, if you called a post in a cover three, that's probably going to be taken away, because the corner is just going to drop back if they're playing traditional cover three. So if I see that a slant would work much better if the mic is being pulled across by another route in front of them, that might open up the slant way better. So I'm going to shade to a slant, whatever your lingo is. It just has to be consistent across the board. And you do those things, and I promise you, you will be way more advanced because I don't see it very much. So you do that right there, and you are going to take advantage and totally light up the scoreboard way more than if you were to not make adjustments at the line.